All right, well, welcome to the first official stream of this channel, Trophy Master TV. I am Dread193. I hope you're having a great day. So the goal of this stream today is to maybe take a little world tour, maybe work on some trophies, just kind of get familiarized with the world that we've been doing all of these great trophies within. At which point might start to maybe record some trophies, might start to maybe work on some things, but mostly first I'm thinking just a world tour, show what's been done in this world that we've been using to get these trophies that we've been working on. So to begin with, this is Trophy Master TV. This character is a very plain character. My primary account has a skin and whatnot, but this one is just an account that I'm only using just to get these trophies. So this is an actual Trophy Master TV account on PlayStation 5. One of the big drawbacks with PlayStation 5 is, well, with PlayStation trophies in general, is that once you get a trophy, you can't get it again. Unlike the achievements on Java version, where you can get it and then you can, every time you go into a new world, you can get the achievement again. So I have to be somewhat cautious with how I get the trophies. I have to make sure that they're actually, when I get the trophy, I have to be thinking about, okay, what is it going to look like? Is this going to be something that's going to be recordable? I do have another account called Trophy Master 2. So if I mess up and I don't get the trophy that I want and in the way that I want, where it's going to look good on YouTube, we can actually do a retake, so to say. So I get a couple of options to try. But today I'm just thinking a simple world tour. This is my main base. This is actually a base that I create on every world I have. I play on both Java and Bedrock. Every world that I have, I create this room. And this room has grown over time. Originally it was 3 sets of chests here, and I know I can turn the chest sideways and make the room smaller, but I like it like this. This one's not as decorated in this world as much. In the Java worlds, I have cauldrons in the ceilings to make it look cool. I have lanterns up here, but this world isn't really about building things and making everything beautiful. This world is more along the lines of, I needed a world to get some trophies, and so that's what this world was created for. But every time I create this world, it's exactly the same. Every time I create this room, it's exactly the same. In this one, I have specialty things. In this case, I have a bunch of ancient debris because I'm working toward the Cover Me in Debris trophy at the moment. There's food over here. There's iron and gold and diamonds, but the diamonds are up in the ender chest now. My ender chest in every world is always the same, and I do this out of necessity. I have a lot of different worlds and different servers that I play on and multiple places that I play on, and I need everything to be in the same location. I'm not one of these people, like if you've watched Hermitcraft and you see people like Scar and Grian that work out of those chest monsters, I'm not the type of person that can do that. I am the type of person that needs organization. When I start a new world, it drives me crazy living out of a couple chests. When this world was started, I was living out of a couple of chests up in the village that's above here. I also always put my main base underground because I'm a digger. I'm not really a decorator. I'm not really a builder. I find it's easier to do interiors than exteriors. I know that's the opposite of most people, but interiors for me are easier, especially when I'm just doing basic deep slate. Nothing too special going on here. So as we can see, this entire place is dug out. So this world only has 3 rooms. This is actually a realm. So this is a realm owned by my primary account, my Dread account. And there's Trophy Master 1, Trophy Master 2, and Dread are the 3 that play on here. Also, some of my family members are able to come in here. That's also why it's 326 days, because sometimes I come in and get trophies with one account or get trophies with another account. And so this one's a simple world put together relatively quickly. So there's an enchanting room, brewing station, all your basic necessities to get things done. And then I also have a way to get up to the surface and then a drop to get back down from the surface. Initially, if you watch some of the trophy videos, you'll see me going up and down those steps. I don't really use those once I've got the drop done. And now that I actually have wings, it's a lot more time going to be spent flying, which I should put those on so I don't accidentally not. So over here is where we get into the nether. This was originally filled with, this is a slime chunk here, and since we're low enough in the world, slime chunks, they're kind of annoying because you would get slimes spawning in here and they would go through the portal, and the moment you go through the portal, you'd get just beat. I mean, they would just take you out. So these are now half slabs, just to keep things from spawning on there so that we don't end up with a problem. I'm going to wait for it to become night and sleep before we go up to the surface. Well, I suppose I could go up and show it real quick, just until, and then I'll come down and sleep after a bit. So I like having the bubble elevator. I think it works quite well. And out the top I did build a bit of a tower. This is the world in and of itself. The spawn is over there. You can just barely see it because it's a realm. The view distance isn't as far as it could be. So this is actually the top of the world. One of the trophies that is going to be put out, well, it's going to be a few weeks because it's one of the, not one of the main trophies, it's one of the extended trophies, is to build scaffolding to the top of the world. But this is literally the top block of the world. You can place a block here. You cannot place a block here. And so the scaffolding, normally you would start at the bottom of the world, you would build up. But what I do is I brought up one piece of scaffolding, just set it here, and that was the trophy. And actually, dropping from the top of the world to the bottom of the world is a trophy. This is a bit hypnotic. I quite like doing this. But this is not the bottom of the world right here. But this is... If you go down to bedrock here, this spot actually is the bottom of the world. And when you want to get the trophy, I forget what it's called. Caves and Cliffs, might be. Normally, you have to look around for a spot that is going to be at the bottom of the world. Because you can see some of this bedrock is higher, some of this bedrock is lower. Negative 62 is the lowest you can go because you're standing on top of, underneath this piece of bedrock here is nothing but void. And so I got very lucky. I didn't plan this. Where this drop tube is, underneath it actually goes to the bottom of the world. So when I go from the top of the world, I drop down here. I opened this up and got the trophy just by opening this and dropping it. Even though there's water here, it still worked just fine. So I was quite happy that that worked out the way that it did. Alright, let's go sleep and then we can take a look at the world itself. It won't take very long. There's not a lot in this world. Because again, the goal of this world isn't to build a bunch of things. The goal of this world is to get trophies. Alright, so let's head up to the surface. I think I'll go all the way to the top and fly over to spawn and start there. I like bubble columns. Saves me on. I don't have any farms in this world. Well, I do have farms, but not major farms to the point where I've got a lot of gunpowder. Gunpowder farms in Java are easy, but gunpowder farms in Bedrock are a little bit harder. You either need a witch farm or a raid farm or some sort of farm to gas. Because the way that mob spawning works in Bedrock is not like Java. They don't spawn as many. So the typical farms of just the normal mob grinder doesn't work as well in Bedrock. So this is the reason that I chose this one. I tried a few different seeds first. And in this seed, when I was on this platform and looked out at the world, first I came into this seed and I looked at the coordinates and I'm like, 175, wow. That's quite high, and I walked over to this edge and I saw this and I was like, okay, this is the seed. It's actually a little bit tricky. I don't know why this pile of snow is here. It's actually a little bit tricky because the only wood available when you first start is up here. And that was enough to get a... I've replaced the wood. I used this wood initially when I first came into the world. I broke this, but then later on I replaced it just, because it's the spawn point of the world. So I dug out the stone over here, and that's where I started. And you can see that if you look at the videos, some of the early videos posted for the earlier trophies, you can see them. In fact, the latest trophy actually was up here also. The more trophies, the latest short that went out was right here and looking over the edge. And so the saving grace here in order to get down is this water that pours down over here. I didn't put this here. This is there naturally. It's part of the seed, and that's how I got down the first time. Just heading down. But this is just, it's a wild seed. You start in just the weirdest place. And it's not super hard to survive because once you get down, it's a normal world. You walk that direction, you're in plains. So coming down here, I was able to collect a bunch of things from this village to kind of get started. Well, there's a heck of a mob farm up here. There's always... This iron golem here has been here since the beginning, and he's doing his job. He's gotten beat up quite a bit because a lot of mobs form in there. So coming down to this village here, when you start out, I was able to grab a bunch of resources, got a couple of trophies down here. I think some of the initial trophies that I got, the ones for Hot Topic and a couple of other things, were over here in these, I believe. Yeah, it was this place here. Yeah, I didn't leave the stuff here, but that's where they originally were. And then the Monster Hunter, the first mob that I killed in this world, was done here. There was a creeper right here, and so that was the first one. Though he didn't blow up. I'm not sure where this hole came from. That must have been something later that I don't remember. So then the sniper duel was right over here. Actually, sniper duel is very tricky on a realm, because one of the problems with... Oh, about to get attacked by the bear. One of the problems with a realm is that the mobs disappear too early. I mean, you can see that bear that was over there is already outside the view distance, and this bear here is still there. And so, in order to get sniper duel, you have to hit a skeleton with an arrow and take it out from 50 blocks away. But once you get to about 40 blocks, they disappear. So what I actually did in that video is I had my main account, Dread193, was hiding under the ice here and was loading this area, because with that character here, this area was loaded and there were mobs around. So I could be over here and the mob was still loaded over there. And later on I might do some tutorials, and if I do that, it'll be in a single player world, because when you increase the distance, the render distance, and the simulation distance is most important, because in realms it has a short simulation distance. I'll make sure and point that out. So once coming into the world, immediately came over here and started in this village. This is the hole where I did the pigs can fly drop down here into that hole. This actually goes very deep. This goes... I can pop down there very quickly. This is all lit up now, but this is the weirdest... Like I said, this seed is crazy. So this goes down. There's a whole lot of caves over here where I picked up a lot of diamonds, but then it actually keeps going down into here and all the way down. So this area over here is where I got the first diamonds in this world. Came over here and there was a skeleton right over there, and grabbed the diamonds out of here. And then exploring all of these caves, they're just huge. There's gigantic caves over here. Try and fly through here without damaging myself. And then this actually goes up. This keeps going down over there. This goes up and then comes back around to the other side. And then this cave goes all the way back over. Whoops, wrong way. There's a spider spawner here. Yeah, I might make that into a string farm later on in case I need it, but I don't have any need for string right now, so it's not really necessary. I'm only building farms in this world as I need them. Normally, I'm a farm builder. When I do worlds, I'm normally a farm builder. I'm not a builder in the sense of building nice, beautiful things. I normally build things for the function of it, because I just love how things all work together in Minecraft and the functionality of it. But in this world, it's mostly for the trophies. Alright, I'm going to need to grab some rockets here. So the starter area was over here. These are my dogs, the ones that I got for leader of the pack. I actually got a few more because I did it twice. Once with Trophy Master 1, once with Trophy Master 2, because the first one, I ended up using the footage from the first one, actually. Originally I didn't like that, but later on I came to really enjoy it. It worked better for the footage than the one with the second one. But I started here, had a bunch of chests here. It was very frustrating to live out of those chests where I was cooking food initially. A couple villagers locked in here at the moment. But the way that I've been getting my emeralds has been this entire farm over here. And the villagers that I'm doing most of the trading with are under here. Didn't need to do a huge trading area in this world. Again, it was just basic food and emeralds and the books I need. Mending, unbreaking, and I don't remember what the other guy's for. And one spare that I haven't set up yet. He'll probably be the guy that I send to the top of the world for Star Trader. So this just goes all the way up. Now, normally I wouldn't have built something like this, but I use this for several trophies. One of the trophies, I can't remember what it's called, requires you to fly at top speed through a 1-block gap. So before I finished this, I left this side off and flew into it and actually flew straight down. Got the trophies that way. Actually, one of the ones we could do today during this is to bounce up on a slime block. That's a possibility. You see how much slime I have at the moment. Grab some rockets while I'm here. Don't have a lot of rockets in this world. Like I said, I do not have a gunpowder farm of any... Excuse me. Gunpowder farm of any kind, so really it's just whatever I can get during the nighttime. Oh, that's plenty of slime blocks. Let's go ahead and do that. So I always organize my inner chests the same way. It's just numbered, but I know what's in each one. I know what they are and what's in them, and then I've got a few just for storage. It is almost night. We're going to wait until daytime. One of the things when you're filming for trophies, now, one thing I didn't realize before I got into doing this, because I do play on PlayStation 5, is that PlayStation 5, normally it automatically records 15 seconds every time you get a trophy. And that's by default. There is a setting where you can record 30 seconds, and 30 seconds actually works a lot better for most of these videos. But what I do is I allow the PlayStation to do its normal recording, and when it does that, it records the trophy popping up, but it doesn't record the actual trophy happening. So when you watch the videos, sometimes you'll see the trophy pop a little bit before or a little bit after the thing that actually happened. And that's because when it's recording, it's actually recording just the video. And then it adds the trophy in later. So if you do something where, let's say you get a platinum trophy where the main trophy pops and you get the platinum, when you're actually playing, you'll see the trophy pop and then you'll see the platinum pop. But then when you look at the recording, the platinum popped earlier because it does a separate recording for that. And it's a little bit hard to explain. I'd have to have something set up to show it. So you really have to think about this when you're doing videos for trophies. You really have to think about the environment, when you're going to get it, because you only get one chance at it. You can only get the trophy once. Now, there are things that I can do, and there are things I have done. Little peek behind the curtain, where in the recordings or in the editing software I have, I can take the trophy and move it a little bit. Like, let's say sometimes, like when you do the end, the trophy actually pops while you're in a loading screen, and that it just doesn't look good. So I edited out the loading screen, but kept the trophy there. So it's instead the trophy is showing at a different point in the video. I still got the trophy. It's still an actual trophy in the game. It's just through the magic of editing made the actual trophy pop a bit more exciting. You know, there's times where maybe like some of the trophies that are hard to predict, like the ones where you see all the biomes. You don't know exactly when they're going to pop. Sometimes you get lucky. The one with all of the overworld biomes, it was a beautiful view. I was in a boat. I was coming around the corner. That one hasn't posted yet, but it's a beautiful one, and it worked out well. But then the other one for this character of 100 days, because you never know when that's going to pop, because the 100 days trophy doesn't actually pop right at 100 days. It's based on minutes, not days in the game, because it's an aggregate of all your different worlds. Just have you played Minecraft for 100 days? And so one Minecraft day is 20 minutes, according to the game. So it's 100 times 20, which is 2,000 minutes, which is about 33 hours. So when you've hit about 33 hours worth of gameplay, the trophy pops. And so you can see in this world right now, it's days played 327, but I think the trophy popped somewhere around 200 or something like that. Or maybe it was 160, 170. I don't remember exactly. But this main character, the trophy popped at a really bad time. I was going through chests. I was in my inventory. So with Trophy Master 2, what I did was actually put the character in front of a redstone machine that was doing things, and then just let it go. And I just let it run, and eventually it got to the point where it was at 100 days, and it was able to. It popped at a time when it actually looked decent. Sorry, I need one moment. I just have to fix the speaker here real quickly. All right, good to go. So let's do a quick sleep. Let's go get a trophy. So again, you really have to think about when you're actually getting a trophy, you have to think about what is the environment, what's it going to look like, you know, is it something that's going to look good on video, are people going to enjoy it, what do you do before the trophy, what do you do after the trophy? This is not something people normally think of. In fact, what most people do, and this is a habit that I actually had when I first started, and if you look at the early videos, you'll see that I was a bit surprised when the trophy pops, because the idea of this channel was based on the fact that my main account has a lot of trophies. I thought, oh, I'll just post some trophies. I didn't really know anything about YouTube or how things get posted. And so I thought that I would simply post, but I very quickly realized that, oh, I didn't mean to come all the way up here. I very quickly realized that most people, when they get a trophy, they stop, myself included, because it kind of surprises you. It hits your brain. You stop and you read the trophy and you're like, oh, I got a trophy. And so most of the trophies that I have from my main account that were just gotten naturally, all you see is I stop at the end of every trophy. But in order to make a good video, you have to be doing something afterwards, and you have to plan that out. So for example here, I'm going to take this slime, put it down here, because this is where we're going to drop from above. Maybe add a few just to be sure, because I don't have a totem yet, so we're going to have to be 100% sure that nothing's going to happen. Now, I'll fix this afterwards. Oh, those villagers below, they were originally in this house. There was like 6 of them in this house, and so I just dropped them down and I made the trading hall. So this trophy is called, hold on, I have this somewhere here. Trampoline. and it is bounce up 30 blocks. So I don't need to start all the way up there, but I'm going to anyway, because that's more fun. You see the world dropping. But what I have to think about is what's going to happen afterwards, because I'm going to pop up, and then I'm going to come back down. So should I just allow myself to bounce up and down? Once I get up to the top, should I fly off? I'm thinking I'm just going to bounce. I'm just going to let it bounce, because it'll bounce 2 or 3 times, and I only need maybe 4 or 5 seconds at the end. So before it starts, I'm going to go up, but I'm going to make the hole before I actually do the filming of it. And then one of the things that I do is after I get the trophy, even though the PlayStation automatically records, I go ahead and do I record the last 5 minutes or so of playtime so that I've got footage around it. Because sometimes it'll cut you off like right when you were doing something interesting. So you get the trophy, it records for another 10 or 15 seconds, and then it cuts you off right in the middle of something you were doing. And I want to have that footage that I could edit in if I need to. So the drop is going to be right here. I hope I picked the right spot, because I definitely don't want to run into a problem with dying during this live stream. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the bubble elevator. And I don't know if I'll keep that footage or not, but it's something that's interesting. But at this point, I think I've got 3 different trophies that are going up the bubble elevator, so I don't want to get too repetitive. I have one for dropping to the bottom of the world. I have one for putting the scaffolding in, and I forget what the other one is. So the other, this villager that's stuck in here, I can send him up and do the Star Trader with him later. That might be something we could do right now, but playing with villagers on a live stream, yeah, they're fiddly. Maybe not. I know that there are new ways to do it. I could put them in a boat, but getting them up there, yeah, maybe not. Oh, I already messed up. So I want to be looking at something. Nobody looking at a video is going to want to look at just water. So I'm going to push my way straight through this, and I'm going to be looking at the world, look down at the trampoline, look up at the world, you know, maybe look up at where I'm going, look back down at the world. You know, people want to see motion. They want to see something in a video that is interesting. They don't just want to see you going up. So I'm going to come right over here. I'm going to drop straight down. Try not to veer at all. Hit that trampoline. Up I go. Trophy pops. Once the trophy pops, I'm going to look out at the world, bounce up and down, stop, and that is the end of the video. Just to make sure that I have the footage then, I'm going to do a quick record recent gameplay. I'll record the last 3 minutes, that's more than enough. And then I'll have that footage, and I'll have the trophy, and I'll have what's needed for the thumbnail. Everything will be there, and that's it. I mean, this is a relatively simple one, but that's basically how these videos are made. Of course, there's a lot of work later on with editing and color correcting and the thumbnails. I actually spend more time on the thumbnails than I do on the actual videos, because those videos, they're not long, they're not complicated, they're not extremely difficult, but the thumbnails, a lot of times well, let's show that. Let's see what it actually recorded here. So it always takes, we can see some of my Skyrim stuff here. I was doing some recording on Skyrim for this account not too long ago. I did post a video, but I'm going to stick mostly with Minecraft for now. So if we look at, this is the thumbnail that it captures at the point in time where you get the trophy. The trophy's not actually up in the right-hand corner. I always add that in post. It's just something, because that's what it looks like in the video, the actual trophy pops. And I'll keep the bottom part. I'll pop the trophy, and this actually is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. I probably won't do much to this. I'll brighten it up a little bit. You know, I might get rid of the position in days played. The reason I keep, I should get, the world is live. I should get myself someplace safe before I just start talking, so that I don't end up going to nighttime and getting a bunch of mobs. So let's go back to that. So as I said, one of the things that happens is when you're recording in Minecraft, this looks bright on the screen, but when it's an actual thumbnail, it tends to look a little bit darker. So I'll brighten it up. I might add a couple things. I might make some adjustments to the size. I'll get rid of the positions and days played. But what I was talking about is the reason I have that up there. Now, I use coordinates a lot. So the days played for me is very important. The position, I mean, is very, very important for me. But it's not really important to leave it on there for the recordings. But I like having the days played. I like people being able to see a progression. Because the way that the trophies are listed, if you'll notice the trophies that I've posted, they're in the actual Minecraft list, the trophy list. The way that the original Minecraft trophies are listed, that's how it's listed. And so they don't necessarily follow a progression of open inventory, get wood, make a crafting table. They follow what Minecrafts have them listed in order, in the original order. And so the first one was open inventory, and then the next one I think is like make a pickaxe or something, and then the next one is much farther in progression. So when people see those videos, they can look at days played, and they'll see that, oh, that one was on day 0, that one was on day 60. Now again, it's a realm, so it's not necessarily how many days this character has played, it's how long the realm has been running, and those days don't count when there's nobody on the realm. So it only counts when someone is actually on the realm. It counts when someone is actually playing. But for the thumbnail, I usually erase that. And that's where the footage comes in handy also, because I can grab a shot maybe for the background that doesn't have that. Or I might actually go ahead and re-record sometimes without that turned on. And without my hand and without the UI. Depending on what I need for that particular thing. So in this case, it recorded the trophy. Here's the trophy record here. So this is what it automatically recorded. So it recorded part of the going up of what we just did, and it records part of the going down. So I'll just do a quick watch on this, make sure that it's acceptable, something that I can actually use. So bounce up, shows the trophy popping. Now where that trophy just popped might not be the exact same point that it popped when we were doing it live. And that's where I'm saying, because of the way PlayStation works, it actually puts in the trophy over the recording. Because, and this is also a great example, it left me in mid bounce. And that's where it stopped the recording, because it only records a little bit afterwards. And I think what I'm probably going to do for the actual video is I'll keep it going until the bounce ends. And that's why I went in and did this other record. Okay. This is what I did initially. All right. So with this recording, then I can actually go ahead, and it should have everything that I need all the way until the end. So this will show all the bounces and go all the way to the bottom. And so I can then edit this in with the footage and use that instead of what the actual PlayStation recorded for the trophy. And the other thing that is noticeable here is you'll notice the trophy doesn't actually pop here. So the trophy isn't part of the recorded footage, and that's where I'm saying that PlayStation does this weird thing where you get the trophy live and you see the trophy pop up in the recording that the PlayStation does, but it doesn't show when you record the footage itself. So there was no trophy pop there, but when you look at the trophy footage, the trophy pops, and that may or may not be at the right time. So you can actually see the trophy in the corner there. Is it nighttime now? Yeah. Alright, so that's one trophy today. Let's figure out what else we're going to do. Let's get back down to the base first. I don't necessarily think there's a lot of other things to do. Oh, hello. Do you have anything interesting that I would need? No, nothing that I don't already have. Oh. Hi there. Please leave my villager alone. Thank you very much. Alright, let's drop off this stuff, and then... So there are other places in the world... Oh, I need this piece of glass back. There are other places in the world. There is the area where I get my XP. I built a small farm, just a quick farm on a couple of spawners, because in Bedrock, that's the best mob grinder is going to come from spawners, unless you want to build some huge overdone thing. If anybody's ever watched Silent Whisper's builds for his farms, he's got a couple of good mob spawners, mob grinders, but they're huge in order to do anything in Bedrock like that. So honestly, Bedrock, the best mob grinder is within, to do it just with a spawner. In my opinion, the best XP grinder in Bedrock is a Guardian farm, because of the way that Guardian farms work, but they're a lot of work to build, so I won't be building one in this one. Maybe I'll show that on another live stream. I do have one of those in another world, and they are wonderful. They're great. They're so fast. Raid farms used to be decent mob grinders, but recently with the changes to how raid farms work, they're not as good anymore. They also used to be a great way to get AFK emeralds, which I actually am going to need a bunch of emeralds, but at the moment they're more difficult than they used to be. There are AFK versions out there, but they're just not as good as what they used to. So I don't think there's any point to going all the way out to the other places in the Nether. Maybe we'll do an exploration there, but Nether's a little bit dangerous to be going through. So let's very quickly, I don't think there's anything here that's going to be a problem to show. Okay. So we can see with this account, there's only one platinum. And I have played a few other things, but mostly it's just been Minecraft. My primary account has something like 5,000 trophies and like 45 platinums. I've been a trophy hunter for a long time. I love trophy hunters. I was playing PlayStation games before trophies existed, kind of aging myself there, but I remember when the trophies first started on PlayStation 3, and I've been collecting since then, so I have thousands of them. So the platinum on Minecraft's primary, so I'm working my way through these. I think at the moment we're on... I did more tools as a short, and I believe the end, or Enchanter was the last one for the long form. So I think Overkill is going to be the next one that's going to get put out there. So let's see, what can we do today? The beginning, no, we're not spawning a wither today. Don't have a notch apple, don't have enough blocks to do a fully powered beacon. Trampoline we just did. So I don't know how many of you out there have PlayStation, but when you click on this, it actually shows you the video that goes with it and the image that goes with it. And that's kind of the whole point of taking those, is so you can see it. It used to do only the image. Actually on PlayStation 3 it just did the trophy. And PlayStation 4, I think, started with the images, and PlayStation 5 started doing the videos. PlayStation 4 might also do videos, I don't remember. Alright, respawn the Ender Dragon. I don't have enough gas tiers to do that at the moment. I don't have a sponge. Free diver, stay underwater for 2 minutes. I could do that. I think I could do that even without a potion. I think it'd be better if I did have a potion, though. So there's a couple ways to get a potion. I don't currently have a pufferfish. We could go get a pufferfish and make a potion. Or we could go look for a buried treasure, because those typically have those potions. And so we can do that and try and get this one. I'll put that on the list. I'm making a list off to the side. Poison a witch with a splash potion. We could do that. With the way that potions work in Bedrock version, they don't throw very fast, they don't throw very far, so I will most likely get poisoned as well. But that's okay. So we'll probably we can make a potion, put it in our inventory. If it's nighttime, we see a wish, we'll just go splash that witch, because that's going to be. There's not really, unless I trap a witch, there's not really anything I can do to make the video more spectacular than that. Once I see a witch, I'll look at where I am, plan it out, figure out what's the best way to do it. Map room, that's way too involved for a live stream. I do already have a wither skeleton head. I could potentially do this one today. Just head over to the Nether Fortress and do that real quickly. That could be interesting. Can make that work. Let's see, what else do we have here? The deep end. If you didn't know, not doing that today. Don't have a totem yet. Need to do a raid. Now that I have wings, I need to do a raid. Lead a caravan containing at least 5 llamas. I actually haven't found a raid tower yet, so I don't even have a potion to my knowledge. This one would be very boring to do right now. I don't have Frostwalker at the moment. That would be part of a raid. Ah, we could do this. Use dried kelp as a block as fuel in a furnace. We could do that one right away. Alright, let's do that one first. Alright, first let's make that poison potion. So we can throw that in the inventory and use that. I do have a few glass bottles in here. Alright, we'll make a few of them. What's in here? Oh, I was making fire resistance. Let's see, let's put in some nether wart. Put these away. And then we're going to need something to, let's see, extending is redstone. I don't need to make it super powerful, but I will extend them because later on, if I want to use this for something else, I want to have it a bit longer. Oh, I'm going to need the gunpowder too. None of the gunpowder I have is currently in these. So this is my redstone chest. I know I don't color code them or anything. I just remember where everything is. And I know that might be a little bit frustrating, but gunpowder's not in my redstone chest. Gunpowder is in my end shulker box. So as I say, I remember where everything is, and then immediately don't remember where everything is. But because everything is in the same place in every world, I do a pretty good job of remembering where everything is. All right, these are awkward potions now. Let's throw in a spider eye, make ourselves a poison potion. Like I said, I might at some point do tutorials for all of this. You know, I'm thinking that might be the next step, because eventually we'll run out of Minecraft trophies to do, and then maybe I'll switch it up and do PlayStation 4 Minecraft trophies. I mean, there's something like 60 trophies or something like that, or 100 trophies. All right, poison potion. So now we're gonna go extend it with a little bit of redstone dust. But the other logical thing with this channel would be to do tutorials. And so I could mix those in. I could do a tutorial and then do a long form and then do a short of getting the trophy and then maybe throw some PS4 ones in there. So I figure there's enough content there to potentially go for a year on that and then see where everything goes after. I'm actually just released a new video today called Playing Minecraft Until. And that basically it's a bit of a joke because it's supposed to be a whole, challenge, but it takes moments to do. And that'll eventually go into like real challenges and be longer. But I'm just trying to think of other content that could be put around the concept of trophies or challenges or things like that. And maybe I'll do a series where it's Java achievements, And so I haven't decided fully yet. Right now I'm just having fun, just posting stuff and just having a great time with this channel. I'll just keep it in here for now. Alright, so we were going to say use a kelp block, so alternate fuel. So we have plenty of kelp. I needed a lot of kelp to build that, to have that. The way that I make this bubble column is I just go to the top and I pour water down. I put kelp. On Bedrock, you can't actually put the kelp on the soul sand. You have to put a block down first. So you put a block, you put the kelp all the way up, and then break the block on the bottom, put the soul sand, and have yourself a bubble column. But it took like 4 or 5 stacks of kelp to get to the top of the world. Maybe it was more. But I grabbed a lot, because it's not that hard to make. So let's first make ourselves some dried kelp. Let's do a full stack, just so we're not wasting it. And we'll let that cook, and it is currently nighttime, so let's go out and see if we can find a witch. It's going to need some more coal. Alright, since it's nighttime, let's go find a witch. And hopefully not accidentally destroy ourselves in the process. Actually, let's put this over here, so I can keep blocks in my inventory. Alright, now the other thing about Bedrock on a realm where it's a limited view distance like this, you don't see the mobs popping up as far away like you do in Java. So I have to fly relatively low and slow. So the best way is just going to be probably find a high position or build up and just watch what's around me. So I'll get a high spot maybe over here. Just build up so I'm out of reach of the skeletons and wait for... Yeah, this may not be the best thing to do on a stream, because if I'm sitting here stacked up on top of these blocks and waiting for a witch to show up, this might be better to do in a raid. This might be better to do somewhere else. Nah, I don't want to do this on a stream. It's just going to potentially cause some problems. You know, you guys don't want to watch me sit here and wait for a witch to show up, so. The good thing about Bedrock version is that you don't have to fly very far to get the mobs to disappear. Alright, well, I'll keep this in my inventory. And if we happen to see a witch, then we'll go after the witch. But other than that, we'll not force we'll not try and force it. We'll just do it. If it happens, it happens. But if I do see a witch, it's not like I'm just going to throw the potion out. I still have to plan out the trophy and think about how it's going to happen. Alright, how long has this been going? I just realized I don't actually know how to tell how long the stream has been. Huh. Sorry, give me one moment here. Ah, there it is. 50 minutes. Okay, wow. That went fast. Okay, well, by now we should have this cooked up. Yes, we have 9. Let's take this out, because we're going to put a kelp block in there, obviously. Let's make ourselves a kelp block. Now, again, we have to think about, okay, how are we going to position ourselves? How is this going to look on video? I mean, we don't just want to open the furnace, put it in. Yeah, it should look like, you know, even though we're planning it out and we're doing it, it should look like, oh, this just happened. You know, That's the goal of doing a trophy. It needs to be, I mean, we're really getting the trophy, so it's not like it needs to be believable like we're faking it. We're really getting the trophy, but it's along the lines of it should look like it just naturally happened in the world. You know, if I was giving a tutorial and recording that, then that's different, because they'll say, okay, well, we put the kelp block in, we do that. But since we're not doing that, and since I don't talk in these videos, it makes more sense to just make it look like an action scene, something that's just happening. Alright, put that away. I'll put this back in there when we're done. Oh, what I should have done was started out by making the kelp block. Oh, missed opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to do that first. I'm going to start at the crafting table, make the kelp block, put it in, and then walk away. I think, though, you know, videos that show crafting aren't as exciting. They don't tend to, because crafting is kind of boring. But if I walk up, craft, and then go over here. So walk up, craft. Can you uncraft these? Oh, hey, you can. Look at that. So walk up, make the kelp block, go over here, put it in the furnace, walk away. And then I can do a second version with the other character where I just walk in, put the block in. So I'll give myself a couple options. I'll see what works best on video. I'll bring in Trophy Master 2 and try that version. So 30 seconds is actually a really long time for that recording. And so you really have to start far away. But again, I'll edit it when it's done anyway. So we come in, go over to the crafting table. Oh, I could actually show myself taking the kelp out of here. Oh, I can't put it back in. Nah, that's going to be too much. I'll just walk in, make the kelp, put it in the furnace. Could start, take the kelp out, go to the crafting table, craft it, go over here and put it in. That could actually work. Let's make some more and go from there. Once there's some in there, I should be able to stack some more on top of it, I believe. No. Alright, well, let's let this cook some more and get 9 of them in there and then put these away for now. So that's going to make 8 right now, so I put 2 in there, so that'll be 9. So let's do something else while we're waiting for that to cook for a bit. Put this away. Alright, what else do we have on the list? Freediver. Taste of your own medicine. So we could go out and look for a boat. I don't want to fly around the ocean, because one of the trophies that I don't have yet is the explore all the different oceans. Because I haven't spent much time on the ocean. And I don't want that trophy. That's going to be one of those trophies that pops at a surprising time. I don't know exactly when it's going to pop. I don't know. I can't predict it. So it's one of those trophies that you really have to hope and try and make it so that you can get it. And I don't want to just be flying and suddenly have the Ocean Explorer trophy pop. So if I'm going to go out on the ocean and do stuff, I want to go in a boat. Because that way when the Ocean Explorer pops, you know, it's slower than flying. I don't have the trophy yet for going into a boat, because I want to think about that. And Bedrock, you don't see as many boats. So I don't think I've even found one yet. And then also the underwater ruins, there's a trophy for that. And I haven't found one of those yet either, because, again, in Bedrock, the way that the terrain forms in Bedrock is the same as Java. But the structures are different. Where in Java, you run into an underwater boat or a shipwreck every 5 seconds. In Bedrock, they're much more rare. You don't see them as often. Underwater ruins, the same thing. You just don't see them as often, which is why getting a sniffer egg is really difficult too, because even in a warm ocean, there's just not as many places to dig. And anything that requires structures to get something like the different structures that you need in order to get the trims, it's considerably more difficult. So it's one of those things that I like Bedrock. I play both. I play Java and Bedrock. I don't think one is better than the other necessarily. They're different. I started on Bedrock. Well, technically I started on Java because I started playing Minecraft on PlayStation, actually on the PS3, but that was the old console version, which was actually more Java than it was Bedrock. And then when it switched over to Bedrock, it was a big change because the redstone changed, the quasi connectivity changed. There was a lot of changes to get used to, and then I didn't realize what that was at the time until I went back and started playing Java, and I realized, oh, these were the changes that happened. Okay, that is now done. All right, let's open this up. All right, so I'm walking in the room. I mean, this is kind of like acting. You're acting with a character. So walk in the room, open this, grab that out, go over to the crafting table, craft a block, go back over to the furnace, put it in. Now the reality is that for the short, it'll probably be different for long form than the short. What I film with character number 2, which is I'll probably film that character just walking in the room, put it in, walk away, because that works better with shorts. But the long form, I'll probably do this one. So this will probably be the one that ends up for the long form. All right, so let's walk in. Always running because people don't want to watch it. Go over to the crafting table. Let's craft that. Go back over. Put it in. And walk away. I usually go down the tunnel instead of going into the other room because it just looks better. Though this is a nicer room, there's not really any place to go after that. Though, I suppose now that I have the tunnel, I could start doing this where I go up the tunnel. So now I can film. I could do that where I start here and I actually come out of this. I can edit that together and use that. So I can give myself a couple versions here. Maybe I do one where I'm going up. I'm going to go for an hour and a half today. We'll go for another 30 minutes or so. Alright, so this time I'm going to record 5 minutes just to make sure we get everything. Just make sure that I got what we need here. Yeah, that's fine. That's a bit trippy when I go down. It's even more so if I spin around as I do it. I kind of like it. I enjoy that personally. I find it interesting. There's actually another trophy for eating kelp. Nothing but kelp for 3 days. I could go for that one, but let's wait because we might end up going to. Nether Fortress. I might wait with that one to do it off stream. Alright, let's go back to the trophies and see what else we can come up with here. Deus Ex Remastered, okay. Let me just double check, make sure there's nothing on this screen that's going to cause any problems. I don't think there is. Okay. Alright, where were we? All right. I think we were in here. Great view from up here. Oh, this one levitate up 50 blocks from the attack of a shulker. It's almost impossible on Bedrock to get that the right way because the shulkers just don't attack you the way that they do on Java. On Java, once one shulker sees you, every shulker starts shooting at you. So it's relatively easy to get. So what I actually did for this one was I got hit by one, and then I just used my wings and flew up. There's not really much choice. It's otherwise you're going to sit there for. You'd have to get your shulkers into mine carts and put them at certain heights, and it's actually quite difficult to get. This one, change of sheets, I actually got by accident. Alright, here. Oh, there's the one we just got. Alright, activate a conduit. Don't have a conduit yet. Again, maybe we go out on the ocean, look around for a boat, dig up a treasure. There's a couple things we need from a treasure. I already have the... There's two parts to a conduit. There's the heart of the sea and the shells, the conch shells. I don't remember what they're called. I have those. That's not a problem, because on bedrock there's drowns constantly. Eat nothing but kelp for 3 days. I'll do that separately. Stay underwater for 1 full day. You pretty much need a conduit for that. So getting a conduit would also allow us to stay underwater for 2 minutes and then allow us to stay underwater for a full day. Could also do this one. I don't think I have any raw cod on me. So let's maybe head out onto the ocean, because there's also a trophy for going to all the different areas. I have lots of raw salmon, but no raw cod. Well, let's go out on the water. Let's look for a boat. Do that since we're here. I actually don't remember which direction the ocean was. I'm gonna guess over there. I mean, there is ocean over here, but it's all frozen. And not that going on ice with a boat isn't fun, but I'm looking for more of an open ocean. I should be getting that all the different ocean biomes pretty quickly, because there's at least 3 different ocean biomes over here. And so, got my wings on. Okay, no totem yet, so I don't want to go, barreling down to my death. This looks like ocean. What is that? Oh, that's my rail. This is where we did on a rail. So it has to be 500 blocks in one direction. And I filmed one with the other character. I filmed this one first. And I already picked up all the rails, but this is where that was filmed. But I filmed with Trophy Master 2 in my original world, because I actually still have my first ever Minecraft world. And I did build a rail in that one, because that was the best way to get around at the time, because there still weren't wings and rockets at that point in time. And it was one of those where it's only like 500 by 500 or 5,000 by 5,000 was the map size. And it was good, it worked, but that was a concrete or a cobblestone cave that it was going through, and it didn't look as nice as this. This is a very nice setting, coming down this rail onto the ocean. It just looks nice. And so maybe I'll do like alternates later on. I'll be like the ones you didn't see behind the scenes or something along those lines. All right. So I want to keep looking forward, because if that trophy pops, I want to make sure that we have the opportunity to have a nice scene for it. But I also want to be looking down, looking for a boat. Now this is where having a potion of night vision is something that I probably should have brought with me, because it allows you to see through the water a little bit easier. Oh, I also need to look for some cod, but there doesn't seem to be any fish. All I have to do is feed a cod to a dolphin and follow it for a little bit. I don't think it has to take you all the way to the ship. I think once you feed it, the trophy pops, but I don't remember. It's been a long time since I got that one. So I'm going to stop at that ruined portal. Ooh, there's cod. I was going to say and wait for some cod, but there's some cod right here. All right. So I'm just going to feed this to the dolphin, if he gets close enough. Hey, come back here. See where he takes me. There we go. Alright. And then we try and follow it. Okay. So he's given up. So it takes us in a direction, but it doesn't actually take you all the way. So that's fine. I could splice that together later with us finding a boat. It's hard to say. Alright, so let's grab the last 5 minutes so that we've got some footage there. And where is my boat? Oh, boat's over here. Alright, now let's see what we got for... Oh, not that one. That's not terrible as far as a screenshot for a thumbnail goes. We'll see. I might cut something else out, but we'll see. So this is the actual footage that the game took. I'll obviously cut out the fish part. So this little dance that I do with the dolphin of trying to actually get to it, I'll keep that in, most likely. For the short, maybe just this part where you come up behind, get the trophy, and then follow. You know, people, when it comes to shorts, people have very short attention spans. You know, it's called shorts for a reason. I mean, there's a reason why it's why they're shorts. And there's a lot of shorts content out there that's a minute, 3 minutes, you know, that is good because it catches people's attention. But when it comes to trophies like this, people don't want to watch it for a minute. People want to watch it for, you know, 8 seconds to 30 seconds maximum if it's really interesting. And it's just, any time that I've put a short out there that was more than 20 seconds, it's just, you could see the drop off after a few seconds. So I get what I need and I put it out there. The long form content allows for a little bit more, but the shorts content, it needs to be short. Oh, lodestone. I actually need one of these. I don't think there's a trophy associated with this until I actually click the compass on it. So I'm going to grab it for now. Really don't need those. I always use one of these and these and this. Yeah, I'll grab them anyway. Why not? I do have bundles in my inventory, which are awesome and very, very useful. I'm a big fan of bundles. I know that's a, you know, it's a subject that people are very on different sides of, but I like them. I find them very useful when you're out exploring the world. You don't have to get out your ender chest, but since I'm getting the ender chest out anyway at the moment, I might as well just go ahead and throw this in. I don't think anybody wants to watch me sit here and get obsidian. There's plenty of other sources of obsidian, but I am going to grab that gold real quick. I don't know if you saw the pause there for a minute, but that's the whole... I'm going to cut this one first just to make sure that there's nothing underneath it. Alright, good to go. This is a realm, so I do occasionally run into problems with a little bit of lag, but it's not like, you know, it's not like a single player world where I'm not going to have any lag. But, whoa, that is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I can always use some of this. I'm getting distracted because glowstone or glow squid ink is always useful. Oh, these guys are just spawning like crazy. Alright, it is turning nighttime. Okay, let's dump some of this stuff off. And I think there's still... Yeah, I didn't actually grab that other piece. Alright, one thing that I will be doing, and I realize this potentially might trigger some people, but I carry 3 ender chests, and the reason I carry 3 ender chests is because occasionally I use the wrong pickaxe, and I've been stuck out in the middle of nowhere before without all of my stuff because I break it with the wrong pickaxe. I always have a couple of extras, but one thing I always do, and this is because I've run into problems in the past, is... Oh, sorry, I just got an error message. Nope, all good. I always put down a second, pick up the first, and then I check to make sure that that's gone back in my inventory and this is here. And the reason for that is Bedrock has this bad habit of sometimes rubber banding in weird ways, where you put something in your inner chest, it's in there, and then you break the inner chest, you go away, you open your inner chest later, it's not in there, you come back to the spot and it's sitting on the ground. And if it's been more than 5 minutes, it's completely despawned. I've lost many shulker boxes of stuff that way. But when I see that actually go into my inventory and I open it up in a different spot, I know that it has registered what's in there and it is safe. So, where did I leave my boat? There we go. Alright, let's continue. Did that guy have a trident? No. I'm always looking for tridents, because one of the really good things about Bedrock is you can make trident killers, which are mob grinders using... Oh, there's a... Is that a mushroom island? No, that's Savannah. That's the word I'm looking for. I actually, controversial opinion again, I actually like Savannahs. I like the fact that it doesn't rain. I hate playing Minecraft in the rain. So I actually have one world where I built my entire world in a savannah, and I absolutely loved it. I've probably started 20 or 30 different worlds over the years. And I have some that are very long-term. Like I said, I still have my first world. We have a server with the family that is been going for quite a while. We've had that for 5 or 6 years now. Ooh, is that Yeah, it is. Alright, sorry. Changing subject quickly because this is a trophy. So once I swim over to that... So the question is that one that's going to work? It's not really it's not that nice, but it's not bad. It looks good. And again, I can always use the other Trophy Master if I don't like the footage I get. Alright, so you'll notice that in Bedrock, the longer I stay in the water, better my view gets. So I'm going to go for it. I'm swimming over there. Get my sword out because these guys are going to attack me. There it goes. Atlantis. Swim past. And maybe come back and do a little bit of fighting. Bedrock is nice because you don't have to worry about your... You know, like I said, they have their advantages and disadvantages. It's not that one is better than the other. They're just different. And Bedrock, one of the great things about it is that you can just keep swinging your sword. You don't have to worry about your timing like you do in Java. I'm wearing my wings. I'm not wearing my proper armor, so I have to be more cautious here. I don't have a brush on me for suspicious sand. Okay, first off, I gotta get my footage. So, last 3 minutes should be enough. Yes. And I am going to take a screenshot so that I can come back and work on this suspicious sand later. Not right now, I'll do it later. So what was I talking about? I think I was talking about trident killers. Oh yeah, so the differences between Java and Bedrock. Bedrock, one of the great things is when you put a trident on the ground, when you throw a trident, it doesn't disappear. And you can move it with a piston, and it will continue to damage things that it hits, and it won't lose durability. And so if you put 4 pistons in a square and you push that piston around, or that trident around, and have mobs drop in, you can continuously take them out. Oh, there's a boat right there. Alright, we're just really, I wasn't expecting to get this many trophies in one live stream, but... Oh, it says, hold on. I keep getting an error pop up that says YouTube is not responding. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so the first thing I'm always going to do is I'm going to stay in the water for a little bit because my view distance is going to expand as I go. Now, in Bedrock you can't put a door down or anything like that. The door that's within the boat is going to be a problem. So I have to balance, okay, how much air am I going to have in order to get my view distance decent versus can I get inside. That's actually a pretty decent boat. It's going to have the chest in the back. It won't have the... no, we'll have the chest in the front. Looks like it might have all 3 chests, actually. Wow. So I'm going to approach it from this direction. So I'm going to get some air. I am going to switch my armor because if I get trapped in there with a drown, I do not want to have to be dealing with it with my wings on. Alright. So I'm going to go down, wait for my view distance to extend. And then I'm going to go straight in for it. I'm going to swim, go a little bit faster, right in. That should be a trophy. Did I already get this trophy? Oh, there it is. Wow, that was... Why did it wait until there? Oh well. This is what we wanted, so that's fine. I'll have to do some major editing on that footage or come back with... I'm going to do a screenshot so I know where this is. Because I'm going to need to come back here later. I am really surprised that that only had 1 chest. That looks like a boat that would have multiple chests. So there was no chest in here. Okay. I see you, drown. So, no, it's just the 1 chest. Wow. That is very, very surprising. Huh. Okay, well, we got a treasure chest. That's our treasure map. I might have to come back and do a re-record with Trophy Master 2 on that one, just because it's... I didn't really like where the trophy popped. I didn't really like the footage. But we'll see. I'll take a look at it later and see how it goes. Let's see what we got here. So the timing here is good. The flow of actually going in. This looks nice. This is very, very good footage. I like that. If I'd have known where the chest was, I would have gone to the right place right away. I was a bit surprised that it didn't trigger, so this isn't the best footage. That's not going to be the best as far as that goes, but I can potentially cut this. I'll see what I can do with it first and then determine whether or not I need something else. So the actual screenshot is not good. So I'll have to do I'll have to pick something else for that. Alright, let's see what we can do with the treasure map. I'm trying to remember how to do directions in Bedrock. Because I need to go southeast, but I'm not 100% sure which direction is southeast. So I need to look that up. One moment, please. All right. Directions in Minecraft Bedrock. X indicates west, Z indicates north, negative Z is north. Okay. So that's all out. Raining and night. Let's do a quick sleep. So if negative Z is north, we need to go. Oh, I didn't even need to look that up. We're on the map now. Okay, let's see. If we're heading south, then we need to turn left. Or right. If we weren't heading south, we were heading east. But that's okay. I definitely want to get some of this coal. Oh, it's way over there. Okay, alright, that's fine. So on Java, there's that trick where you can just use the F3 screen for 9.9. Unfortunately, Bedrock doesn't have an F3 screen, and they don't always get put at 9.9. And sometimes they can be tricky, they can be deep, so I'm gonna try this one. I'm not just gonna spend an hour digging around here. I'll try it. If we don't find it, I'll come back after the stream and dig around and actually find it. There is a trophy for opening the treasure chest, so I'll do something to set it up. So I believe there's a trophy for them. I'm pretty sure there's a trophy for that. It's a good day for trophies. I should have been live streaming the whole time in this world, but I didn't really think of it until just recently. Because I also stream on Twitch under my Dread193 name. It's twitch.tv/dread or //Dread193. On there, I'm actually streaming Borderlands content at the moment. Borderlands 4, great game. Really enjoying it. I played all the rest of them, all Borderlands 2 through 3, or Borderlands 1 through 3. Really enjoyed them, and I've been streaming the other one, the newest one. All right, so it should be right here somewhere. I'm hoping it's an easy one. Sometimes they're easy, they're right where they're obvious. Sometimes Bedrock is weird sometimes in that sometimes it'll put it way off of where you are. Sometimes it'll put it underneath the stone. In Java, it'll always be under the gravity block. But sometimes in Bedrock, they'll be underneath the stone, they'll be underneath, they could be in multiple different places. It's not always right where the X is. And maybe there's a trick to finding these in Bedrock. I don't know. If there is, I haven't heard about it. Nobody's mentioned it. I mean, I need some sand anyway. I can always use some glass and some sand, so it's fine. Oh, about to drown. That was my inventory space. Not good. Alright. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Let's put this back here. Actually, let's put it here. I'll leave this here for now, since I'm going to be digging for a minute. I'm going to keep the map drown I see down there? Do you at least have a trident for me? You do not. But you did pick up my sand. See, in a situation like this where there's a cave underneath... Oh, that's a trident. That's a trident. Now, there is a thing on Bedrock where drowns will trade a trident for a shell. And that does work. I've tested it in creative. But the problem with that is... Where'd the trident go? The problem with that is that they can't be in attack mode. They have to be in calm mode in order to do that. And there's really no way in survival, unless you go like 10 blocks above and drop that down, drop the shell down, to get them to be in calm mode. But in order to do that, they're gonna once they're in calm mode, they tend to swim deeper. And so the issue that you're gonna run into is it's very difficult. So I'm just using my looting sword. Hopefully I get a trident. In that case, I didn't. Drowns spawn enough in Bedrock that you generally don't have a shortage of tridents. You can't actually pick that one up. That one just disappeared. It's been a minute. You can't pick the trident up. They have to drop the one that's in their hand. It drops as an item. But there's enough drowns. Drowns are crazy on Bedrock. I mean, they spawn just like absolute crazy. And so it's one of those things where you do, once you've played enough in a world, you do tend to end up with a lot of tridents. But they are super useful. Alright, back to what we were doing. So what I was saying before I got interrupted was, if there is a cave like this, sometimes in Bedrock, it will actually put it underneath the rock in the cave. It can be really weird, the placements in Bedrock. I'm hoping it didn't do that, because I'll spend an hour sitting here digging. We'll see. For now, we'll just dig out this little bit of sand in the immediate area here, and if we don't find it, then I'll come back later. I'm not going to spend the whole stream just digging. Hi. And this is why I put my armor on. Typically I wear my wings, unless I'm caving or on the ocean or under the ocean. I'll have my wings on most of the time, just because I tend to jump off things without really thinking about it, and if I'm not wearing my wings, I tend to crash. Alright, let's get over here a little bit. Come on. So basically, I'm going to dig as long as that pointer is somewhere over the X, I'll dig it. Once I'm off the X, I'm going to give up for today, or for this stream, and come back later and spend some more time digging through it when it's not boring content. Where having a good shovel is helpful, because without a good shovel, especially like early game, this can be extremely frustrating. Especially when on Java, it's so easy. You can literally just go to a field and you got it. I am making a mess. Oh, looks like my inventory's full. That's probably enough for now. I'm way off the X over here. And maybe just a little bit further here. Come on. Nope. Okay. Coming back later. Screenshot the coordinates. And come back later for that. Just double check, make sure I didn't just miss it here. Yeah, it's probably underneath down in the cave. Alright, let's put this stuff away. It's probably about time to end the stream anyway, so I'll probably start heading home. So I am going to end it here, and I will continue looking for this, but for the time being, this seems like as good a spot as any to say that's enough for today. I hope you enjoyed the first stream, a little bit of a tour, a few trophies, more trophies than I expected to be getting on a stream, but it's I don't know how often. Sorry, excuse me. Whew. An hour and a half. I'm starting to yawn. I don't know how often I'll be streaming. I don't know what time of day I'm going to be streaming. But I do intend to do more streams on this channel. My theory is, I'm in this world. I'm getting the trophies anyway. Might as well show how it's done. Might as well show how it happens. To me, that's interesting. If anybody else, if you agree, disagree, let me know. If there's something you'd like to see me do on a stream, let me know. But at the end of the day, it's just, I love playing this game. I enjoy Minecraft. I'm gonna play it whether I'm streaming or making videos or not. So I'm up for doing just about any content. I mean, I would like, for Trophy Master TV, I would like to stay with the videos in the theme of trophies. But for the live streams, we don't have to stay within that. We could go outside of that. So if you have some ideas, if there's something you want to see, if you have any questions or things that you'd like me to go over, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help out. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have